Today I want to talk about the meanest member in our church. There are some members we talk about and say, oh, aren't they sweet? Others we talk about and say, oh, aren't they cute? Then there's those members in the church, when we speak of them, we say, oh, they're so nice. Those are not the ones that I want to talk about this morning. I want to talk about that member or members this morning. You know who they are. You don't have to look around at each other. Try to figure it out. And you don't even have to try to identify them. If you are wondering who it is, I want to assure you this morning that this member wins hands down, not only in this congregation, but in congregations all over the world. Let's look at it at verse 6 this morning. And the verse says, the tongue also is a fire, a world of evil amongst the parts of the body. The body parts that the word is referring to is you. It's me. It's us. The tongue is the meanest member in our church. The tongue is full of fire and iniquity. I want us to think about our tongues and the meanest member in our church. Verse 5 says, of our text says, that the tongue is a fire, a world of evil amongst the part of the body. The tongue has brought down kingdoms, destroyed carriers, killed many a marriage, divided family circles. You don't have to say amen, I'll say amen. Caused chaos in the church, amen. Split many churches. The writer of this book finds it amazing that we can tame animals, but we cannot tame our tongues. Let's consider what mankind has been able to at least somewhat tame. We have dancing bears, we have talking dolphins, we have charmed snakes, we have dogs that do tricks, we have lions that can open their mouths and men put their heads into the mouths and not get hurt. All of these things we have been able to tame and train to do what we ask and command. But then there's the tongue. And some of our mouths, and the tongue in our mouths, are untamed and untamable. James introduces us to three factors in this text as it relates to our tongue: the influence of our tongue, the iniquity of our tongue, and the inconsistency of our tongue. I remember when I was younger and I worked temp jobs. At one of these jobs, I was responsible for packaging items to be shipped off to prospective employees. Some of the items were fragile and needed to be packaged and shipped with a handle with care sticker attached to the box. The reasoning for this sticker was to alert the handler that they must pay close attention and handle these particular boxes differently from the rest of their cargo. James is saying that the tongue, though it is very small, is very powerful and very influential, and therefore the tongue should be handled with care instead of challenging them to take ownership of their own tongue. You see, there are some times that the tongue is capable of doing. It is capable of giving directions. It is capable of destroying. And the tongue is capable of bringing delight. In essence, it's a very powerful tool. Many times in church, as well as in our family life, we have a tendency to treat the persons with care instead of challenging them to take ownership of their own tongue. We will treat the person as fragile as glass because we don't want them to go off. We don't want them to lose it on us. And we don't want them to black out. You know how sometimes people say, you know, I blacked out. You know, they say that. They blacked out. Just cursed you out and blacked out. Okay. You know, and, excuse me, and we don't want them to black out on anyone around them, and we know that this will happen if this member takes control. James is trying to help us understand that we are not to treat someone as fragile. Just understand that the tongue is fragile. You didn't hear that. We are not to treat people, Gail, as fragile, but the tongue is. See, I can take a whole lot of beat up. Because, see, you can beat me, and what happens is the bruise goes away. But that tongue,